We shall start week one of personal finance by understanding how people can manage their money responsibly and excel at it. Why study personal finance? Personal finance covers the concepts of managing your money, saving, and investing. Many people study personal finance in order to achieve financial success. Personal success may not have the same meaning to everyone. Some people think financial success is accumulating a lot of money. For others, it may mean defining financial success by their ability to purchase goods and services. But financial success is achieved when you have obtained the maximum benefits from limited financial resources. What is personal financial planning? Personal financial planning is important because it helps individuals to achieve personal economic satisfaction and financial independence. It is defined as having enough income or resources to be self-reliant. What are the advantages of personal financial planning? It's going to give you increased effectiveness in obtaining, using, and protecting your financial resources. It will give you increased control of your financial affairs. It will also improve your personal financial relationships, and it will give you a sense of freedom from financial worries. What then are the 6-step procedures for personal financial planning? First step, determine your current financial situation. You need to evaluate your income, savings, living expenses, and debts. Then you prepare a list of current assets and debt balances, and the amount spent for various items. Finally, you match the financial goals to your current income and potential earning power. Step 2, you need to develop your financial goals. How do we go about it? We need to identify feelings about money and the reasons for those feelings. You need to determine the source of your feelings about money as well. Determine also the effects of the economy on your goals and priorities. Make sure that your goals are your own and are specific to your situation. Step 3, identify alternative courses of action. And we look at this by looking at continuing the same course of action, if that's what you want, or maybe expanding the current situation you're in, or changing the current situation that you're in, or even taking a new course of action. You will have creativity in your decision making, and this will be vital to have an effective choice. But take note, doing nothing can be a dangerous alternative as well. Step 4, evaluate your alternatives. There really are consequences of choices. One is what you call an opportunity cost, what you give up when you make a choice. The other is a cost or trade-off. It's a decision that cannot always be measured in dollars. Sometimes the cost is your time. Evaluating risk is another thing that you need to look into. For example, there are uncertainties in every part of your decision, and the best way to analyze and minimize risk is to gather information from your financial planning sources. Step 5, create and implement your financial action plan. You need to develop an action plan that identifies ways to achieve financial goals. What will also be possible action plans that can be increasing savings, reducing spending, or making provisions for taxes. You also want to implement action plans you may need assistance from others. And step 6, you need to review and revise your plan. Financial planning decisions need to be assessed regularly. A complete review should be done at least once a year. Any more frequent interviews may be required if you're talking about changes in your personal, social, and economic factors. But a regular review of the decision-making process will really help you in making priority adjustments to achieve financial goals. Why do some people perform better on tasks than others? The goal-setting theory approaches the issue of motivation. These are what you call a first-level perspective, and it emphasizes an immediate level of explanation of individual differences in task performance. According to Ryan, if individuals are equal in ability and knowledge, then the cause must be motivational. The theory further states that the simplest and most direct motivational explanation of why some people perform better than others is due to disparate performance goals, implying that setting and adjusting goals can significantly impact performance. Goals give us direction by focusing attention on goal-relevant behavior and away from irrelevant tasks. The goal setting works through 3 basic propositions. 1, the goal energizes performance through the motivation to expend the required effort in line with the difficulty of tasks. 2, the goals motivate people to persist in activities over time. And 3, goals direct people's attention to relevant behaviors and away from behaviors which are irrelevant or even detrimental to achieving the task. Goals that are specific and challenging lead to higher levels of performance. According to Locke and Latham, suggested that these types of goal strategies work more effectively for the following reasons. 1, you have specific and challenging goals which are associated with a higher self-efficacy. That is, a belief in your own skills and abilities. 2, they require higher performance and more effort to elicit a sense of satisfaction. 3, specific goals are less ambiguous in terms of what constitutes good performance. 4, challenging goals are more likely to result in outcomes that are valued by the individual. They also encourage a tendency to persist with the task for longer, and the more specific and challenging goal is, the more attention an individual will dedicate to it, often utilizing skills that have previously gone unused. Similar to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the financial needs are also categorized according to stages. When we build a solid foundation centering on moving through each stage of the ladder, we will be able to provide essential lessons in both creating and retaining wealth. For one thing, you start off with the cash flow and basic needs. This means you need to have the necessary things for survival, such as food, housing, transportation, and funds for daily expenses. When the cash flow and basic needs have been identified, you can now move to the financial safety, and that means having an emergency fund and insurance. This is where 47% of adults would have enough savings to cover at least 3 months of expenses. Then, after you've done your financial safety, you move on to accumulating wealth. This means building investment portfolio, saving for retirement, paying down the debt. And from accumulating wealth, we move on to financial freedom. And financial freedom refers to long-term care, retirement savings, funding your children's education, and even that of your vacations. And at the very top of this is the legacy. This is where you look at your estate planning, tax planning, and even business succession planning if you have some businesses. There are different types of financial goals. Let's look at the timing of goals. One is a short term, meaning it's 1 year less, and maybe intermediate, which is about 2 years or less. But the long-term goals are something that should be planned in coordination with short-term and intermediate goals. Long-term, therefore, refers to about average of about 10 years or so. The second type of financial goal we discuss is influenced by the financial need that drives your goal. One is if it's a consumer product goal, it normally occurs on a periodic basis and involves items that are used up relatively quickly, such as food, clothing, and entertainment. 2, the durable produce goals. These involve infrequently purchased or expensive items such as appliances, cars, and sporting equipment. And 3, these are intangible purchase goals, which refers to personal relationships, health, education, and leisure. What are specific guidelines now that we need to do for our goal setting? Just remember the word SMART, S-M-A-R-T. It refers to the fact that your goal should be specific, meaning you need to know what your goals are to create a plan. It should be measurable, because you want a specific amount with which to achieve the goal. It should be action-oriented. Identify the personal financial activities you need to do. It should be realistic. It should utilize your income and life situation. And time-based, meaning you need to identify the time frame to achieve the goal. That's what SMART refers to as your guide in goal setting. And that ends your video on goal setting.